Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 31st weekly public meeting, March 1st, the final month of the quarter. And we're going to give you an update of what happened at our board meeting. We had a board meeting on Monday, update on the summit, and some operational updates as well. So no Matt's on the road. On the board meeting, this is our second board meeting we've held. We offered the board two propositions. One was on our strategic plan. This is the plan which had some detail in it for 2024, and it was a bit broader on 2027. Okay.
Hey, Reza, you could probably.
The first proposition was on the strategic plan. We had a broad vote in favor. Not a unanimous vote, but it was an 8-to-1 vote in favor of our strategic plan. I'm going to give you the highlights of it. The 2024 plan includes growing the team, growing the volunteer base to 1,000 members by the end of the year. And that includes our EMEA chapter getting to maturity over this next year. And it includes us continuing on our path for personal AI, and starting with our POC. We'll have a beta, we'll have a public release, and then we'll actually have first revenue from it, hopefully by the end of the year. Those are broad goals. The other broad goals include the number of academic partnerships we want to create, and we've set those goals for individuals in our team. We also want to start outreach to enterprises to get corporate membership. So these were broad strategic goals, and those are our 2024 goals. The board approved that. We had a vote 8-to-1 in favor. The next proposition we gave them was, okay, how do we fund this ambition? And we had already kicked off a funding work group. And all we presented to the board was, here are the possible funding sources, the possible revenue sources, and here is broadly the amount that we're going out for. That also had a broad vote in favor, not unanimous. It was a 7-to-2 vote, but that's how boards work. You know, if it was unanimous, then you'd think, okay, something's amiss here. So it's very important for us to have a diversity of opinion in our decision making that gives us stronger decisions. And the no votes were not absolute no's. We said you can vote and then provide a rider, provide your comments with it. And so most of the comments were just requests for more detail. So that's the action that the officers are taking, is to build out the detail around those two propositions. And so I'm gonna mute you. Okay, so we move forward, and we had a successful board meeting, and we'll connect with the board at the next meeting and provide them with that update. Okay, so next update would be on the summit. So you've probably been seeing a lot of LinkedIn posts about our summit progress. Let me tell you what we've been doing there. We've managed to land very sought after keynote speakers. In fact, Scale commented to us, said, hey, we've been trying to get these characters to come and talk at our conference, and we've not been able to get them. So we managed to inspire Doc Searles. In fact, I just came off a call with him. We're on the same IEEE working group, the working group that's developing the protocol by which a personal agent would talk to a third party. So that's being standardized by this IEEE work group. So that's great. Doc Searles, keynote speaker at our summit. Um, look up his books. He wrote the book, The Intention Economy, and go buy it. Bring it to the conference, and he might sign it for you. Pankaj Kadia is another heavyweight in the industry. His background is Intel Capital, Qualcomm, where he ran the wearables division, and now he's retired and he's doing that VC investor thing. And he's a friend of ours. He was a champion for one of my startups, one of the startups that ended exiting to Google, and so I consider him a friend, and I consider him, a highlight of the industry and an influencer. So Pankaj will be speaking. John Willis. I don't know John Willis, but he's well regarded in the area of DevOps. They call him the godfather of DevOps. He's speaking at our summit. And then Bruce Schneer. Oh my word. This is a superhero of the area of cryptography and trust. And he was inspired by our mission. And so he'll be contributing. He's not going to be there physically. He's going to dial in. So we'll have him on video conference. And then we've got our good friend Kai Pham, who's a board member as well. And he is one of the pioneers of reasoning AI. Not the AI that everyone else is doing, which is based on correlation and probability. This is based on causality. And reasoning AI is fundamentally different to correlation, data correlation, and statistical AI. This is super important for life sciences, and you don't want your AI models hallucinating when they're giving you a medical diagnosis. Okay, so this is Kai Pham, and he'll be talking. I'll be talking, giving you an update on what we're doing in fundamental AI, and I'll be emceeing. Matt's going to be emceeing the main program. I'll be giving an introductory and a wrap up at the end. We're going to be there right to the end of the week. We Scale have asked us to program the AI track. So this is our summit, is in fact their AI track. Get your friends to come and join. We've got 200 seats to fill. If you haven't signed up already, sign up, please. You actually get a 50% discount if you use Kwaai in the discount code field. So sign up for Kwaai. We're there on the Thursday, and then we are going to, we have a booth all the way up until Sunday. So if you want to come participate, then Doc Cells will be at the booth as well. So you'll get some one-on-one time with some of these characters who might hang around a bit longer. And we'll be doing demos on the booth. We'll be demoing the proof of concept of what we think personal AI could be. Banners and t-shirts. Yes. There'll be t-shirts to give away. And, you know, you only get it if you're there. And so come on down. We are... yeah, so get folks to join. Right, I'm gonna move on. Here's what the banners look like. Here's what the t-shirts look like. Look, I know people said, "Hey, can I have it in different colors? Can I? Oh, I want medium. I want large." We've ordered an assortment, but there's also a store that'll go online where we're going to add some other merch to it. So that'll be a, you know, if you want to show your colors, show your affiliation, you can go and buy it yourself. Okay, so here's the agenda, and you can find that on the Kwaai website. And I'm going to pause there. The next topic we're going to talk about is the Kwaai marketing group. We formalized that group now. You know, marketing was a bit ad hoc in the early days up until now. but we've formalized it. We've got some folks that are marketing experts. So we've got Maurice Bretzfeld, who goes by Maury. We've got Debbie, tremendously enthusiastic, and has got some great ideas about how we can market the message. But Maury's got a team in Colombia that do this day in, day out, and he's volunteered that entire team to help get our message out. He looked at our website and he said, wow, you just need some basic SEO on this. Looked at our YouTube channel, which has got over 100 hours of material on there, maybe 200 hours of material, and we're just not utilizing it. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do there to get the message out. Okay, and you've all met Serge, who wants to contribute on the on our front end, and let's lift speakers from scale. Yeah, exactly. And then Carsten Wade. Carsten's already spoken at one of our webinars. We want to get the webinar program going more frequently than that. We've got many experts where this forum is not enough for them to talk on, and so we need to get them some airtime in the form of a webinar. And we ran that on LinkedIn Live, and it was very successful. Okay, so now I'm going to hand over to Cyan to give us an engineering update. Cyan, I'm going to, if you want to present, that's great. Or if you just want to talk, let me know. I can make you a co-host if you want to present. Give us an update on the progress.
Sounds good. Thank you, Risa. Good morning, everyone. Our past week we have been wrapping up the project, and we are establishing the download and setup documentation so everybody can download it from the community. We're just fixing the Docker components and making sure that it works on Linux, Mac, and Windows. Currently, it is only working on Windows and Linux, but we're fixing everything so it works on Mac OS with M1 and with Intel chips. So that's the part one of work we have been doing this week. The other part is basically creating all documentation of the processes the project is executing, quantization, and everything that we have done so far. And we're going to be adding more features, just some small features during the week. The last meeting that we have with Risa and Mike, we established we're going to be adding maybe calendar events and adding pictures depending on if you're having a conversation regarding a trip that you had. So we're going to be doing all those modifications so we can have a better product for Scale Conference. And that's pretty much it on our end.
Thanks so much, Cyan. That was great.
Thank you.
So the objectives for this week, you mentioned, sorry, you went through those, and here are your next objectives. It'll be great once we get the code ported to run on Mac in particular. A lot of us are Mac users, and then we can get more people playing with it and getting feedback to you. Look, we've got 2 weeks to get the demo that you showed us polished so that we're proud to present it in public. But thanks so much, and well done to the Arcus team for just hitting those deadlines and working so hard on the whole code base. It's really impressive, and compared to, I hope that the team at Arcus also have got something out of it, that have come away smarter. Our proposition to companies like Arcus is donate to us some developers. You're going to be working on cutting edge AI projects. You're going to be guided by leaders of the industry, and you're going to come away smarter. And so this is a boot camp for eager developers that are smart. They're good programmers, but they want to get some experience under their belt in AI. So I think it's a win-win for both companies, and I really appreciate the participation and the partnership that Arcus have shown Kwaai. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to, before I talk about member voices, I'm going to dwell a bit on funding, because that's the major preoccupation now. After we get the Scale conference, after we get the summit done, we need to figure out, okay, how do we fund this ambition that we have of building a movement of 1,000 volunteers, building personal AI, and the rest. So I'm going to share with you a tab that I shared with the funding team. So it's a bit of an eye chart, but we've mainly been messaging to the left hand of the diagram. Let me talk to you. This group on the left-hand side, this is volunteers, like everyone on the call. This is you. Here are our development and academic partners. So it's academia plus partners. So this includes companies like Arcus. This includes academia like, I know, College of the Canyons. It could include ITT, which is the Institute of Technology in Tijuana that we visited. It could include a whole bunch of others. The proposition to this group on the left-hand side is, hey, volunteer because you feel passionate about a cause. You'll get the ability to influence that cause, influence the movement. You could donate if you want to, but you're donating mainly time. What you're getting back is learning, experience, and satisfaction that you're doing good. Okay. We translate all of that enthusiasm and energy into 3 work streams. What we call tools. This is building personal AI. Fundamentals. This is researching into making models smarter, faster, and greener. This is policy drafting for anticipating AI in the workforce. All of these actually support personal AI. Now, let's talk about the right-hand side of the diagram. We've not been messaging to this population yet. That's the consumer population, individuals and enterprises. Frankly, it's a different message. It's a message for more, the message is what's in it for me. That's what consumers think of. Yes, consumers might also have some altruistic motives, but the fundamental motive that you're appealing to in a consumer is, what is the value to me? And that is, and then when you're appealing to enterprises, they definitely want to know, how's this going to affect my P&L? What is the, quantify that? And so we haven't even started to message to the right-hand side of the diagram. Most of our message has been passionate, rabble-rousing, almost revolutionary talk. You know, we issued a Kwaai manifesto. We talk about the sort of evils of monopolization to the audience on the left-hand side. This is you. This is the language I use. And then the audience on the right-hand side, we have to come up with other sorts of messaging. And it's not talking out of both sides of our mouth. It's recognizing the diversity of motivations and aspirations that the entire population has. Okay. So it's a complex task, and understanding what we're doing, understanding that you as smart people need to have 2, sometimes maybe even opposing thoughts in your mind at the same time. This is about building a movement. This is about getting revenue in order to make the movement self-sufficient. And some of the folks that are on this side might not like the ways in which we, or might not want certain options for getting revenue in. And so we could we could say, well, we don't really want any revenue in at all. We're going to be purely a non-profit, and we're going to fund our activities purely through donations, crowdsourced donations, institutional grants, charitable foundations, in-kind donations. For-profit investment? No, we don't want any of that. Okay, but look, those are the options that are on the table. And I think they're all in play, including for-profit investments. So this is what the funding work group is looking at. And we're looking at crafting messages for each of these groups. And we've appointed owners for each of these buckets. Afshin Beheshti, who's the president, he's an expert in institutional grants. That's the life he lives and breathes. He applies for grants to fund his research and fund other research. And so this is a slow drip. You know, it's time consuming to apply for these grants, and then it is but there's lots of money out there. There is money out there. Charitable foundations, they declare that you know, let's see, Mozilla, Knight Foundation, I don't know, all of the foundations that you hear on NPR, you know, those, we've got the list of those, and these are the folks that we can go and get donations from. And in-kind donations are the sort of donations that the hyperscalers like AWS or Microsoft or Google will give you. They'll donate to you compute resource as an in-kind donation. There is an opportunity for for-profit investment. It's kind of nascent within within Kwaai. We are committed to providing personal AI free for local personal use. However, if you want to use it for commercial reasons, you can seek a license from us, and that is a revenue opportunity. And that is a for-profit division, or it could be a separate entity, but it's definitely an area where there could be considerable revenue. How much? We don't know. If you squint,
would you maybe just say a few more words about that idea of a commercial license and what that's referring to? I think there's some confusion. Certainly I was confused the first time I heard that, and what commercial license refers to.
Excellent. Okay. So Kwaai as a, let's say the Kwaai operating system supports a number of abilities. And these are, this could be your personal communication ability. This is what we're prototyping. There could be other abilities like financial planning, healthcare, and so on. If you're going to be using those for personal use, your own individual use, that's great. That would be free. But if a corporation wants to take the Kwaai operating system, train it on their own corporate data, and use it in a commercial setting, and maybe even resell that, they would need to seek a commercial license. So that's what we're talking about, a commercial license, when it's being used in a for-profit enterprise. And we're working this out. It might be the case that this becomes like an app store. We don't know, and there are numerous examples of this. Like, you know, obviously the iOS app store, but Atlassian also comes to mind in terms of an app store. That, I think, is way beyond where our thinking is, but we should start noodling on what that looks like. So these are the possible avenues for funding, and this is what the funding work group is looking at. In the in-kind donations, Michael Nathan put up his hand. He's heading that with Toby. The charitable foundations, we're he volunteered a couple of folks that weren't on the call because they are ex-Mozilla, ex-Red Hat folks and understand how this space works. And then the for-profit investment, we need to do a lot more work on that, but we're working on that with folks like Mark Vega and so on to figure out what that could look like. So I want to thank everybody who's been working on this. This is super important, and I want to thank the board for also considering the implications of this and at least giving us. It wasn't a vote to say yes, this is what we want to do. It was a green light to explore it further, and we're expected to come back as officers with more detail to this plan by the time of the next board meeting. Okay, so that's enough on that section. Matt, thanks so much for coming back. You were on the road. I'm going to hand over to you. Maybe you take it from here.
Sure.
I'm going to get back to the tab that we were sharing and click on.
Apologies to everyone for the meeting host snafu. No matter how many times I set some of this stuff up, Google tends to change permissions on me. So please do reach out to me if anyone ever has any issues with finding a calendar invite or getting into a meeting. There's a lot of complexities with this. Hopefully, we'll be able to sort a lot of those out soon. Shout out to Eunice. Eunice got us secured with a Salesforce nonprofit cloud license. So we've got a free set of licenses for Salesforce. We're going to start implementing a more mature CRM process than some spreadsheets and some manual invitations to everything. So thank you all for your patience today. There was one other, I don't know if anybody wants to provide a quick policy team update before we move on. If Ruth or Marcus is here and would like to share something about the policy work group meeting.
I am here, but I was going to switch it back to Reza because I don't think we've heard enough from him yet. Perhaps you want to, Reza, give a little couple of minutes of what we discussed in policy, and then I want to add on that bit that you and I have been talking about.
Okay. Do you want to go first and then switch to me? Yeah. I don't mind. Okay.
No, you go first.
Okay. So this week there were some meetings that Ruth was not part of. So let me give you an update. Two external policy collaborating foundations, nonprofit foundations, look promising. One is called the Transparency Coalition, and this was an intro that I got from my former boss, and Jay might be on the call. No, he's not, but I had a meeting with him, and they are stronger in policy. In fact, they don't have any technical backing, but they're pursuing many of the same initiatives that we are doing on the policy angle, at least in the employment contract space, and they're doing it by lobbying politicians, and they've got a strong lobbying effort. So that's where I think it's going to be beneficial for us to partner with them. So I've made an introduction to Sushil and Marcus. And hopefully by the summit, we'll have some. Maybe we'll have a partnership agreement, and maybe something that we can announce by then. The other entity is called AI Verify, and guess what they're doing? They're doing responsible AI certification. They're a non-profit, but they're based out of Singapore. Had a conversation with them. They said, hey, we are completely aligned with you, and we've got open source tools that we've already started to develop that can measure AI models. So I made an introduction to Sushil and the other folks on the policy group, and this is another organization that we can partner with. I don't want us to be in the business of reinventing wheels. If they're non-profits that we can partner with to get the job done, we shouldn't be proud. We should go ahead and do that. So let me. Yeah, you're looking for URLs. Yeah, I'm talking and typing. I'll add in the chat the Transparency Coalition and AI Verify. I'll add the URLs in a minute. But those are two groups. The other progress on policy is Sushil sent a proposal to the Maastricht University to a conference in October that where he's putting forward on behalf of Kwaai a proposal around our employment, the draft employment agreement. Marcus has moved that document along quite considerably, and so there's stuff to talk about there, and it'll probably be Marcus who's in that time zone that'll present on our behalf. I think that is it on policy. Back to you, Ruth.
Thank you so much. During that policy conversation, well, based on Balaji's demo, I think last week, maybe the week before, that inspired me to think, wouldn't it be great as an educator to get all of the data that I have supplied from my educational institution? And my goal personally is to try and avoid the 11th hour emails I get from students when they've had 2 weeks to do an assignment, and then 2 hours before it's due, they say, oh, could you just explain to me what you were talking about 2 weeks ago? So my goal was to maybe get some kind of an assistant like Balaji demonstrated. So we use a platform called Canvas. I don't know who's familiar with that, but it's something that educators use, and you build your courses in there, particularly online courses, but you can build anything in there. And I tried to download just one course to see what it was like. It was garbage. The files were garbage to me, to the user. So I went to the tech help desk and asked for a readable form of my material. And they said, no, you can't have that. That goes in Canvas. You can move it around in Canvas. You can move it from one course to another, but you cannot take it out. So it's rather like you bought a nice new couch and you've put it in somebody else's house, and they say you can sit on this couch anytime you like, but might lock the door, and you certainly can't take the couch and move it into another place. I did ask them whether they operate in Europe and whether, you know, they are governed by GDPR. They did say they operate a global company, and they said that we would only be restricted on whether a government of a particular country has restrictions. And he did tell me that I could use a third-party tool to make my content in a readable form, but he couldn't tell me what that third-party tool was because it's not Canvas. So I did ask him, so this is not my property then? And he said, yes, it is your property, but only when you use it in Canvas. So my educational institution has licensed Canvas, and it rather insists that we use it, particularly for online classes. But then now I'm getting this question about what is mine, but also what is my students', because I'm saying to them, you must upload your data into this, onto this platform. I thought that was interesting.
So what is it you're doing with Balaji?
Well, ask Balaji. He's here, isn't he? He's been able to open up the data that I've sent him, and he's playing around with it.
So you found a GitHub project an open source project where somebody's reverse engineered Canvas's database, the export database, so you could actually find your content in there. It's a violation of GDPR. You should be able to extract your own data. You should be able to do that. But ultimately, you're going to end up with a virtual teacher's assistant that would be where students can go to and ask questions about the course rather than bugging you at 11 o'clock at night. Okay. Well, thanks very much. Back to you, Matt.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Ruth. Appreciate that. Let's move to member voices. We've got about 15 minutes for it today. Would love to hear certainly from the new folks that have joined for the first time today. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to look through all of the names here and write them all down, but if you would please raise your virtual hand and volunteer. I do see some new names, and if you don't volunteer to kick us off, I start calling names out. So please, somebody help us kick off here. I'm going to start naming names.
And I just want to say our membership numbers just took a bump last night. I think we're on 200 now.
Broke 200.
Yay. And that was the goal for the end of Q1. So we've reached that goal already.
Just on time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, nobody's volunteering, so I'm going to start asking for some volunteers. I see Anu. Anu, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Anu. Nice to meet you all. This is my first time here. My background is mostly on quality assurance, testing, connectivity, basically those kind of things. I'm interested to explore more on the side of AI, and I think this is the right place, and happy to be here.
Anu, it's great to have you on the public meeting. I think you and I exchanged some messages on LinkedIn. We've got a QA. We've got a number of people that are on the quality side, and so welcome aboard. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Anu. Thank you for introducing yourself. How about Casey? I don't think we've met you before. Oh, excuse me. Juan has his hand up. Thank you, Juan. I'll go to you.
Yeah, hi. My name is Juan Jose Lopez. I am one of the employees of Maurice. I'm from Colombia.
Thank you so much, Juan. You're going to help us with our marketing effort and get the word out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Juan. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the call. Casey, I don't think we've met you before. Would you like to say a few words? I also see Joel Ward. Not sure if we've heard from you before. Nicolas Espinal.
Hello. Excuse me for not having my camera on. I have some trouble with it, but I'm Nicolas. I'm also employee for Maurice from DigiQuation. I'm also from Colombia, and I'm here to learn and to be in these meetings. They are so cool. Thank you.
Welcome, Nicholas, and great to have you here, Nicholas and Juan. Thank you. Really looking forward to your help here. Maurice, thank you for bringing your team. Really great to meet them here. Who else would like to introduce themselves? Casey, I see Joel. I'm going to start calling on some names that I haven't seen in a while too. I see James Hines is here again. Hello, James.
Hi guys.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's great to be here. It's been traveling for the past few weeks, missing this, but it's exciting, the amazing growth that's continuing to grow. To give a little background, I'm focused today on how AI-powered technologies will change the memorabilia and collectible space, in that it's the perfect tool to explore the past, the present, and the future.
Thank you, James. And Joel, now that I see your face, I know I've met you before, but yeah, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm an AI researcher. Looking to assist, see what I can do with this whole thing.
Awesome.
Thanks, Joel.
Welcome. The best place to try to get involved here is certainly in the Slack channels. If you're not invited to the Slack, please let me know, and I'll make sure that that you get invited to there. We are trying to organize in different work group meetings. Find one that fits your passion, and we'd love to hear from you and get involved in different ways.
Sophia is also a
Yes,
new.
Sophia, I see. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm also having trouble with my camera. I don't know why, but I'm Sophia. I work as well with Maurice Britsfield, and I'm here to learn and, yeah, know more about you guys and help with whatever I can.
Thank you so much. Maury, you're just bringing a whole army to the course. Thank you so much. This is fantastic.
Wonderful. And there's a face we haven't seen, another face we haven't seen in a while here. Sam, do you want to reintroduce yourself to the group?
Yeah, sure. G'day, Sam Johnston here. I was involved in the earlier calls a few months ago and have been busy, if you can see, relocating myself to Vancouver over the water there.
Wow.
And so that's kept me tied up, but certainly was actively involved in the early. So there's a few familiar names from the cloud, early cloud days. I was worked on the Open Cloud Initiative, looked at some of these open standard formats and interfaces and so on. So certainly, and have been doing open source for a few decades. So certainly interested in these discussions about the licensing and so on. But also I run a venture studio in Singapore, so certainly have a view on the commercial side and the need to find a balance between the two. So hopefully can contribute around all of that. Oh, and I'll be at the event. I just saw as soon as Matt's email came in yesterday, I signed up for the conference, and being here, one of the main reasons of moving up from Asia Pacific was to be able to do things like that.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's important for us to show up, and it's an opportunity for us all to not be the sort of celebrity squares images here, but also to meet in person. Matt, we're talking about maybe having an event on the Thursday evening, some socializing. We'll put some meat on the bones of that idea. And it would be just wonderful to get everyone together.
Welcome back, Sam. Great to have you. And I do recall early on you had some pretty deep kind of technical thoughts and questions. We've got some pretty deep technical folks that are now hacking on some stuff. So please join us in the architecture workgroup channel. I think some of those ideas may be well timed.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just started a master's in AI at Georgia Tech as well, so that's kept me pretty busy.
Excellent. Wonderful. Who else? I don't see any more new names. I hope I'm not missing anybody. I don't think we've met just about everybody. Would anyone like to say hello, say what you're working on? Jordan, I see you here. You've been super involved on the scale side. Any words that you'd like to share there?
Yeah, I'm always good for scale hype. So it's less than 2 weeks away. So yeah, hopefully see you there. And like Reza, I guess you just mentioned, folks may meet up afterwards. It's in Pasadena at the Pasadena Convention Center. Right across the street, there's a bunch of great restaurants. So you shouldn't have any problem finding a place to meet up after the summit.
Yeah,
and unwind.
I think one of the exhibitors is hosting a karaoke night, aren't they? On the Thursday, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Things will pop up like that, and they also have like birds of a feather sessions, where people can just have a evening discussion in a conference room after hours. So things will pop up like that. But yeah, you guys may, depending on where the karaoke is, just crash that. That sounds like fun.
No.
You should hear my Stairway to Heaven.
Okay. Was that scary?
That was Scary Way to Heaven.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And there's, oh, by the way, and there's more scale discussion, right? There's the summit. There's a summit channel, Slack channel for further discussion.
Is there?
If anybody is interested or has any questions.
Jordan, I wanted to get us listed on the events pages of all of the sort of events, LA events lists. Do you have any insight into that? Because I think that could help.
Yeah, I have a couple links. Elon had thrown me some stuff that he looked at, and I was trying to put some DevOps Day stuff on there. So I can try and dig that list up, and yeah, maybe we could just go through those and post up some Kwaai things there. Although I guess those already have scale, so it kind of covers it. Yeah, most of, I'm also affiliated with another co-located event at scale called DevOps Day, and most of our promotion there is on link, because it is technical conference. Most of our promotion there is LinkedIn and meetup.com, setting up events in meetup.com. Although meetup.com may have died down a bit from COVID, but the couple of groups that I have access to still have a decent registration. So yeah, not really sure about promoting. The other one is word of mouth. And so everybody here, if you can, post up to your LinkedIn or whatever social networking stuff you have, that either there's the in-person event, be sure to use the promo code for a decent discount, or I don't know if any links have been posted up to the LinkedIn where you guys are going to be streaming the summit. But getting the word out that way too, I think I think word of mouth is probably the best way to do it.
Sure. Okay. Well, thanks so much, Jordan, and thanks for your support. Thanks for walking over to me.
At DataCon LA, and over the summer, I caught your keynote, and I'm like, wow, this is perfect for scale. You said Linux, so yeah, and I'm surprised. I was just thinking maybe get you in as a keynote speaker. But you were able to bring the whole summit.
Hey, I want you to program the entire AI track.
Yeah, you brought the whole. Yeah, I just introduced you to Elon, who's our one of the founders of Scale. You bring in the whole summit, and including someone who he'd reached out to Doc Searles 20 years ago, trying to get him, and Doc still had the email where Elon was asking him to come to Scale. So, I mean, that's amazing. It's just this thing is building momentum.
Well, also Elon and Matt were dorm buddies at college, so that's the other connection.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Maurice, yes, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Where can I find the slide deck after the meeting?
We post these in the Kwaai meetings channel, along with the recordings, the YouTube links to all of these recordings, as well as all the workgroup recordings are posted there.
On Slack?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we do, again, just a shout out, we do have some new channels up there. The Kwaai messaging channel is now the Kwaai marketing channel. Please join in with some of these groups if you're interested in getting involved in these new work groups, folks. We're about 6 minutes. We have time for maybe one more intro. If somebody would like to share a few words about what you've been up to, what you've been working on. Myra, I don't think we've heard from you recently.
Myra was on one of the recent work group meetings. I can't, Myra.
I was just going to say, I think Reza's heard enough from me.
Yeah, but everyone else hasn't.
So yes, hi. No, I've been really enjoying the policy work groups. I'm actually going to spend some time looking at the nutrition facts document, checking out what you mentioned about the two organizations. You talked about the one in Singapore and the other one, and see what I can contribute.
Excellent.
But, I feel like maybe this might be something where I feel like I can contribute. I've been trying to find my spot. I mean, I've been here since like August of last year. And Yeah.
Thanks, Myra, for sticking in there, for sticking at it. And there are a few others that feel that they don't have a spot. Yes, Kwaai is a technical think tank, but it's also a policy think tank. And I think on the policy side, those people that they feel a bit self-conscious about, contributing on the technical side might find their space in the policy work group. So come and join us. Join the Slack channel. Join the conversation, and then if you've got time, come and participate in the weekly call.
Wasn't there also a fundamentals of AI group?
There is an AI fundamentals group. I run that. You know what? I'm going to be presenting an update at the summit. One of the key developers on that has taken a leave of absence, so I've stopped running that weekly meeting, but I think we've got enough on our plate.
Okay.
After the summit, I'll revive that again.
Sounds
awesome. And just a few
Karsten's
more
got
minutes.
his hand up. Karsten?
Yeah, I was going to kick this to Karsten, and then Karsten, go ahead and announce, and then Riza, take it over, and I'll lead us out.
Perfect. Yeah, mine's real short. I just want to yes and to what Riza was saying about this being a technical, think tank group. But just to add on top of that the dynamics of how open source collaborations and open collaborations can work is that we do need role diversity. The material is going to end up being technical, but as we've seen already in terms of the kinds of people that we're talking about, that there's marketing, there's promotions, there's legal aspects, there's documentation, technical writing, support, user experience, like a whole range of things. So for many folks, the thing is, what are the kinds of work that interest you, and then you'll learn the technology stuff as you go along if you're immersed in an area where you can really contribute from a higher level of comfort because it's something you've done, or it's something you really want to grow into. You've had a little experience in an area, you want to expand it, and you can work in this open collaboration with all of us on that. So I just want to put that little cherry on the cake of what Riza was saying about how the communities, our capability and to bring in a lot of different kinds of contributors.
Love it. It's a big tent. Come on in. Riza, why don't you take us out?
Okay, in the last 2 minutes of this call before we jump onto the hackathon, again, I want to thank everybody for their contribution. We've done a hell of a lot in this sort of non-profit paradigm, just with volunteer energy and enthusiasm. I look forward to this Friday call in particular, but I think this is the space. If you've got spare time, where do you spend it? This is what you need to be spending it on. Invite your friends to come and join, and hang around until you find the place where you can contribute. We are all bound together by the same mission. We have this sort of unclear angst that AI is going in an unsafe direction, but this is the place where we can discuss that and help maybe steer it on a more humane path. So I want to thank you all for coming in every week and doing that. Toby, you've got your hand up.
I just want to bear witness and say, community is our only advantage in the marketplace. So without you guys and the community, there is no Kwaai. So thank you, truly.
So I just got off a call with a VC, the company's called JL Capital, and they wanted to talk about, okay, what's your differentiation and so on. And then I described to them how this is different from all of the for-profit startups that I've been on, and what the dynamic is and what it's like when you've got smart volunteers, self-selected people with high executive function. This is not a team of individuals that you control by virtue of controlling their pay packet. These are people that are motivated by passion, and that is unstoppable. That is a unique advantage, and that's how we're going to achieve our goals. See you on the hackathon.
Love it, everybody. Happy Kwaai Day. See you on the hackathon.
Happy Kwaai Day, everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you, everyone.
weekend.
Have an
If
excellent
you
day.
don't make it to the
Bye-bye.
hackathon, bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye bye.